of all, I don't believe in the office sector of real estate. So I invest mainly in the residential sector.
Well, people got to live.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Okay.
So this is the thing. We really follow the demand.
So do you just go to Florida then?
Well, no, but let's talk about New York. So, in the past, I actually converted many office buildings to residential. And then there was the period of time of, great office buildings and even office buildings in neighborhoods such as at Chelsea and the Flatiron that were taken by the high-tech kind of companies and converting back to office. But my view of the office space is not great. And unless you have a truly Class A brand new office space.
Like this one?
Like this one, for example.
That you're sitting
right,
in.
with all the amenities that you have
Yes.
here, which is great, you're not doing well. The residential is a completely different story.
Let's talk about that residential. Right. So New York City, we were talking earlier, right. We both agree that it's not dead. But in 2020, there were a lot of people, including myself, where it felt, I was sharing with you, I loved how quiet it was. But you did what a lot of people said couldn't be done, which you essentially sold out a beautiful residential building on 79th and Madison, smack in 2020 into 2021. How did you do that? And talk to us about what was behind that process.
So, going back to 2020, once COVID hit us at, around March, we started to hear on a daily basis, New York City is dead, New York City is dead.
Now, did you have butterflies in your stomach around that time just for a little bit, or were you?
Well, I was already in, and I had this I had few projects. One of them was 3 years in the making. I bought multiple walk-up buildings on Madison Avenue, and I designed and I started to build the first high-end residential building anywhere between Park and Fifth Avenue in 25 years.
That's
right?
Incredible.
So think about it. For 25 years, the only option for anyone that wanted to live between Park and Fifth Avenue, and I would say high 60s to mid 80s, is either one of the co-op buildings. Some of them are very famous, but old, small windows, old elevators, old mechanical systems, and no amenities, right?
Right.
So for 25 years, no one could really figure out how to build a new building. So anyway, we were already coming out with the superstructure on Madison Avenue between 79 and 80. And I was planning to open the sales office originally in April of 2020. Obviously, I said, oops, let's stop, right? Let's see what is going on.
Couple butterflies.
Exactly. But then when the superstructure, we kind of stopped for about 2 weeks, construction in New York, and then we continue, and we coming up with the ground, and the superstructure was almost stopping off, and we started to get phone calls from brokers and direct from buyers calling our office. Now, we didn't have any sign on the site except our name, our company name. So people Google whatever, and they found our phone number, and they called us. So I said, oh, very interesting. So there is a demand. People are they're really curious. They want to buy. So September of 2020, I decided to open the sales office. The space was ready to open. I didn't open it, right? September 2020, I opened the sales office. And between September and December of 2020, I sold out.
That's amazing. That's just incredible, because having been here, the city
all
really
about
was.
The demand is here in good days and bad days.
Yes.
Of course, there is a slowdown. Of course, but at the end of the day, if you have, by the way, not only real estate, if you have a product that is there is a real demand for it, you're going to do well. It's all about inventory and demand, right? So there was zero inventory and there was a demand, right? So that's why we were, that was the first of 3 projects that since then sold out. Sold out on the Upper East Side. All of them were doing extremely well.
And they're, I'm now here in Sutton Place, but I had been on Upper East Side. I saw day by day the one on 83rd go up. Just absolutely very distinct. And I think it's at the limestone, but the amenities. Yeah, it's really pretty incredible.
So I want to ask you, selfishly, I just put in a down payment for very exciting. I just put in a down payment for an apartment on 67th and 3rd, so in Lenox Hill.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But of course, I want to hear, if you think the value of it's going to go up. But it's a but you've been talking about these luxury buildings, all of the amenities. Is there still value though for some of these buildings that are a bit simpler? Maybe just like good location, doorman, elevator, laundry in unit, amazing, and a terrace. But maybe you don't have the big gym and all these other amazing common spaces.
So I would say I don't know if the value will go up, because think about where we are in all luxury product. The way we live today, most of us, right, compared to our parents or definitely our grandparents, different quality, right? The
huge.
Huge different, right? So there is a demand for quality. Also, most of us are much busier than our parents and definitely grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
So we are looking for every moment that we have. We're looking for the lifestyle that everything will be very accessible and close to us. Amenities are very important. It's part of the lifestyle that we all, or not all, most of us that can afford are looking for. So I would tell you that there is no question in my mind that the appreciation of value is much higher for a really, really good product, and not as much for let's call it an older product. Having said that, location is as always very important. So if you're in the right location and you have the right bones and you upgrade your unit, you will do well.
I like to hear that.
How would you describe South Florida right now? Because we had the story here, as you well know. Seems like everybody in New York City left for Miami, South Florida in general. Give us your extent. Is it too much, too fast down there, or can this market really, I guess, thrive?
So it's actually very interesting. I have two what I call mega projects in South Florida. I'm building a 70-story, 1.5 million square feet in Miami, in downtown Miami, in a neighborhood in Miami World Center, which is a new neighborhood in downtown Miami. And I'm building a very similar size twin 50-story towers in Fort Lauderdale, in Flagler Village. So here
bullish, I'm guessing.
Miami and Fort Lauderdale are different, but here is the thing. For us, okay, it's all about demand. We think that we are quite good in designing and creating a really good product, but we're not good enough to create a demand. So we really follow the demand. We look at where the demand is, and that's where we go. Specifically about Miami. Miami matured to a point, in my opinion, of no return.
Yep.
Miami can offer not everything that you can get in New York City, but almost everything, between culture and restaurants and you name it, and sports, and everything is there. And of course, many months of the year, beautiful weather and the beaches and all of that, right? So this is for us. This is a really important market. And also a market that attracts quite a lot of Latin American buyers that either want to park money in the U.S. or they as investment, or they just use their apartments X amount of weeks, a year. So I think it's a strong market. I just opened a sales office for the Miami project 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
We are doing well, so we think it's a strong market.